The war against the machine. For nearly 2 decades, millions of creators have been fighting an invisible enemy. They have cursed it, blamed it, studied it, feared it. Every single day, somewhere on the internet, a creator uploads a video that does not perform the way they hoped. The views are low. The comments are quiet. The subscribers do not show up. And eventually, the same sentence appears. The algorithm killed my channel. It has become the battle cry of frustrated creators around the world. The algorithm is unfair. The algorithm is broken. The algorithm favors big creators. The algorithm does not give small channels a chance. But what if the biggest myth in the creator world is that the algorithm is the enemy? What if the machine everyone is fighting is actually doing exactly what it was built to do? That possibility is uncomfortable because it forces creators to ask a much harder question. Maybe the problem is not that the algorithm failed. Maybe the problem is that we misunderstood the game we were playing. The truth is this: the YouTube algorithm is one of the most advanced artificial intelligence systems ever created. Think about the impossible challenge it faces. Every single day, millions of videos are uploaded. Billions of people visit the platform. Every person has different interests, different ages, different cultures, different languages, different moods. Someone sitting in Texas at 7 o'clock in the morning may want to watch a fishing video. Someone in Japan at midnight may be searching for a documentary. A teenager may be looking for gaming highlights. A parent may be searching for a recipe. A student may be trying to learn a new skill. And the algorithm must make a decision. Not once, not twice, but billions of times every single day. What is the best video to show this person right now? That is the entire mission. The algorithm is not a judge. It is not a movie critic. It does not watch your video and say, "This creator worked really hard. Let's reward them." It does not say, "This person spent thousands of dollars on equipment. They deserve more views." It does not say, "This creator has been making videos for 10 years. Let's finally give them a break." The algorithm has no emotions, no sympathy, no loyalty, no favorites. It has only one purpose: predict what each viewer is most likely to watch and enjoy. That is the game. And everything changes when you understand that. For years, creators have approached YouTube like a talent competition. They believe the best video should win. They believe the hardest working person should rise to the top. They believe effort should be rewarded. But YouTube is not a talent competition. It is a prediction engine. And the most important person in the entire system is not the creator. It is the viewer. The viewer controls everything. Every click, every second watched, every video they ignore, every time they leave, every time they come back. Every action becomes information. Every choice teaches the machine something new. The algorithm is not telling people what they should enjoy. The algorithm is learning what they already enjoy. And that is the distinction that changes everything. Imagine standing in front of a giant machine that has analyzed billions of human decisions. You scream at it, "Why won't you recommend my video?" And the machine calmly replies, "I'm only following the audience." That is a difficult truth to accept because it removes the villain. It removes the excuse. And it puts the responsibility back where it has always been, creating something that another human being genuinely wants to spend their time watching. But this raises an even bigger question. If YouTube does not reward effort, if subscribers do not guarantee views, if the algorithm only follows the audience, then what exactly are creators competing against? The answer is far more terrifying than most people realize. They are not competing against other creators. They are competing against everything. The greatest competition in human history. For most of human history, competition was limited by geography. A small-town newspaper competed with another newspaper down the road. A local television station competed with other channels in the same region. A musician competed with artists who could afford a record deal. A filmmaker needed expensive equipment, a crew, a studio, and a way to distribute their work. The barriers to entry were enormous. Creating for the world was something only a small percentage of humanity could ever do. Then the internet changed everything. For the first time in human history, a person sitting in a bedroom with a cheap camera and an idea could reach the entire planet. It was one of the greatest democratizations of media ever seen. A kid with a webcam could compete with billion-dollar television networks. A gamer could build an audience larger than traditional celebrities. A teacher could educate millions of students around the world. A storyteller could create an empire from a laptop. It was a revolution, and millions of people joined the race. But there was a hidden consequence. When everyone gained the ability to create, everyone became your competition. That is the reality many creators still struggle to accept. When you upload a video, you are not just competing against another channel in your niche. You are competing against every other YouTube video, every live stream, every short, every podcast, every Netflix series, every Hollywood movie, every video game, every social media post, every song, every news story, every piece of entertainment that a human being could choose instead of you. Your greatest competitor may not even be another creator. It might be a person deciding to play a video game instead of opening YouTube. It might be someone choosing to spend time with their family. It might be a friend sending them a funny video. It might simply be a person deciding they are tired and going to sleep. Because the most valuable resource in the modern world is not money. It is attention. Every human being has the same 24 hours in a day. No technology has ever changed that. No algorithm can create a 25th hour. No company can manufacture more human attention. Every second that someone spends watching one piece of content is a second they cannot spend watching something else. And that creates the greatest battle humanity has ever seen. A battle for human attention. This is where many creators make their biggest mistake. They look at a successful creator and think, the algorithm loves them. But that is usually not what happened. The audience loved them. The algorithm simply recognized the pattern. A viewer clicked. They stayed. They watched longer. They watched another video. They returned tomorrow. They came back next week. Millions of tiny human decisions formed a signal, and the machine followed that signal. The algorithm is not sitting in a room deciding who deserves to win. It is not choosing favorites. It is not saying, let's make this creator famous. It is saying something much simpler. Based on what we know, what has the highest probability of satisfying this viewer right now? That is all. It is a prediction system, an unbelievably sophisticated one, but still just a prediction system. This is why a creator with 100 subscribers can sometimes outperform a creator with 100,000. Because the algorithm does not ask, who has the biggest ego? It does not ask, who has been here the longest? It does not ask, who spent the most money? It asks, who is creating the strongest response from the audience? That is the only scoreboard that matters. And this is where the conversation becomes uncomfortable, because it forces creators to confront a painful possibility. Maybe the thumbnail was not interesting enough. Maybe the title did not create curiosity. Maybe the first 30 seconds did not capture attention. Maybe the video did not deliver the value the viewer expected. That does not mean the creator is untalented. It does not mean they cannot succeed. It does not mean they should quit. It means they have data, feedback, a message from millions of human choices. The creators who survive are not the ones who complain the loudest. They are the ones who adapt the fastest. They study their audience. They improve their storytelling. They improve their packaging. They improve their ability to capture attention. Not because they are trying to manipulate the algorithm, but because they are learning to serve human beings better. And that leads to one of the biggest myths in all of YouTube. The belief that subscribers are your audience. The belief that if you can just reach a certain number, success becomes guaranteed. But the modern internet does not work that way. The subscriber button is not the finish line. In many ways, it is only the beginning. The subscriber lie and the death of the old YouTube strategy. For years, the subscriber count was the ultimate symbol of success. 10,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers. The numbers became trophies. A public scoreboard that told the world, this creator has made it. And for a long time, there was some truth to that. In the early days of YouTube, subscribers were much closer to being your audience. A new upload would often reach a large percentage of the people who had chosen to follow you. The platform was smaller. Competition was lower. The relationship between creator and viewer was simpler. But the internet grew. The number of creators exploded. The amount of content became impossible for any human being to consume. And YouTube evolved. Today, your subscribers are not your audience. They are a record of everyone who was interested enough to click a button at some point in time. Think about that. Someone may have subscribed to you 5 years ago. Their interests may have changed. Their life may be completely different. They may not even watch the same type of content anymore. Someone who loved gaming at 16 may be a parent at 26. Someone who watched technology videos during college may now spend their time learning about finance, health, or business. People change. The algorithm knows that. This is why YouTube does not simply push every new video to every subscriber. Imagine opening your phone and receiving notifications from thousands of channels you subscribed to over the last 10 years. Most people would become overwhelmed. They would stop paying attention. They might even leave the platform. That would be a failure of the recommendation system. The algorithm's responsibility is not to make creators happy. Its responsibility is to make viewers happy. That distinction matters. When a creator uploads a new video, YouTube does not immediately decide whether it will be a success or failure. It begins gathering information. It tests. It observes. It learns. A small group of people who are statistically likely to enjoy that type of content may see the video. Then the system watches. Did they click? Did they watch? Did they stay until the end? Did they immediately leave? Did they continue watching more videos afterward? Did they return to the platform tomorrow? Every action becomes a signal. Every signal becomes data. And that data determines whether the video reaches more people. This is why a channel with 100 subscribers can sometimes create a video that receives millions of views. And why a creator with 1 million subscribers can upload a video that struggles. The algorithm does not respect your past achievements. Every upload is a new audition. Every thumbnail is a new billboard. Every title is a new promise. Every opening moment is a new opportunity to prove. This is worth your time. That reality can be terrifying. Imagine spending 10 years building an audience and realizing you must still compete every time you press the upload button. Many creators hate that idea. They want a system where past success guarantees future attention. But from the viewer's perspective, that would be terrible. Imagine a world where every recommendation was based only on subscriber count. The biggest creators would dominate forever. New voices would almost never break through. The internet would become a museum of old success. Ironically, the modern algorithm has created more opportunities for unknown creators than many people realize. A creator with no reputation can publish a single incredible video. If viewers respond strongly, the system can continue expanding its reach. It does not ask, "Who are you?" It asks, "How are people responding?" That is a powerful difference. But this also created an entire industry built around trying to outsmart the machine. Thousands of videos promise secret knowledge. The perfect upload time. The thumbnail trick YouTube doesn't want you to know. The hidden keyword that will make you go viral. The algorithm hack that guarantees millions of views. And creators chase these ideas because they are searching for certainty. Because certainty is comforting. It is easier to believe there is a secret formula than to accept a difficult truth. There are no shortcuts to being interesting. The greatest creators in history understood something that has never changed. Humans are drawn to stories. Conflict, curiosity, emotion, humor, discovery, surprise, connection. Technology evolves. Cameras improve. Editing becomes easier. Artificial intelligence enters the picture. But the human brain remains remarkably similar to the brain that gathered around a fire thousands of years ago to hear a story. The algorithm does not create human desire. It measures it. It follows it. It learns from it. The creators who spend all their time studying the algorithm are often studying the shadow. The creators who study people are studying the source. That is the difference between chasing trends and building something that lasts. But just as creators are finally beginning to understand the algorithm, a new revolution is arriving. And it may be the biggest disruption in the history of the internet. Artificial intelligence. Because the greatest barrier that once protected creators is disappearing. And what happens when everyone on Earth can create professional content? That is the question that will define the next decade. AI, the content explosion, and the greatest attention war in human history. For most of the history of the internet, creating professional content required resources. You needed expensive cameras. You needed powerful computers. You needed editing software. You needed graphic designers. You needed voice actors. You needed writers. You needed years of experience mastering the tools of the trade. The barriers were high. And because the barriers were high, the number of people who could compete at a professional level was limited. Then artificial intelligence arrived, and the walls began to fall. Suddenly, a single person could do the work of an entire team. AI can write scripts. AI can generate images. AI can create voices. AI can translate languages. AI can edit video. AI can analyze trends. AI can even help creators understand what their audience wants. The tools that once belonged only to major studios and corporations are rapidly becoming available to everyone with a computer and an internet connection. This is one of the greatest democratizations of creativity in human history. But every revolution creates a new battlefield. When the camera became affordable, more people became filmmakers. When the internet became global, more people became publishers. When social media exploded, millions became creators. Now, with AI, billions of people may soon have the ability to create content that looks professional. That sounds like a dream. But there is another side to that dream. A nightmare of abundance. Imagine walking into a library with 1,000 books. You can probably find something interesting. Now imagine walking into a library with 100 billion books. Finding the right one becomes nearly impossible. That is the future of digital content. Not a shortage of creation, a shortage of attention. For decades, businesses fought over resources: oil, land, manufacturing, money. In the digital age, the most valuable resource is human attention. And unlike technology, attention cannot scale infinitely. Every person still has 24 hours in a day. Every hour still has 60 minutes. Every minute still has 60 seconds. No invention can create more time. The most advanced AI on Earth cannot manufacture another hour in your day. This is why the future of content will become more competitive than anything we have ever seen. Your video is not competing against another creator in your niche. It is competing against a movie with a $200 million budget. It is competing against a video game designed by hundreds of developers. It is competing against music produced by the greatest artists in the world. It is competing against every podcast, every live stream, every article, every social media post, and every notification trying to pull someone away. The battlefield has expanded beyond imagination. And this is where many creators become afraid. They hear this and think, then there is no point in trying. But that is the wrong conclusion. In fact, the opposite may be true. Because while AI can make content faster, it cannot automatically make content meaningful. A million perfectly edited videos are still worthless if nobody cares about the subject. A beautiful thumbnail means nothing if it does not spark curiosity. A realistic AI voice means nothing if it has nothing important to say. Technology has lowered the cost of creation. It has not eliminated the need for ideas. Throughout history, tools have changed. The printing press changed who could publish books. The camera changed who could capture memories. The internet changed who could distribute information. Artificial intelligence is changing who can create. But every one of these revolutions produced the same result. The people who understood the human being on the other side of the screen succeeded. The people who only mastered the tool were eventually replaced by someone with a better tool. This is the new creator battlefield. It is no longer enough to ask, what camera should I buy? What editing software should I learn? What AI should I use? Those are no longer the most important questions. The questions that matter are, who am I creating for? What problem am I solving? What emotion am I creating? Why should someone spend their limited time with me instead of everything else available to them? The creators who survive the next decade will not be the ones with the most tools. They will be the ones with the deepest understanding of people. Because the algorithm has always followed human behavior. And as AI makes content creation easier than ever, that truth will become more important than ever. But there is an even bigger issue that very few creators are talking about. Even if you master YouTube, even if you gain millions of subscribers, even if you build a career over 10 years, there is still one question every creator must eventually ask. What do I actually own? And that question may become the most important question of the entire creator economy. The creator trap, building a kingdom on someone else's land. Imagine spending 10 years building a castle. Every single brick placed by your own hands. Every wall designed through countless hours of work. Every tower built from sleepless nights. Every room filled with memories of the people who visited. You invite millions of people into that castle. They laugh with you. They celebrate with you. They support your dreams. And one day, you wake up and realize something terrifying. You do not own the land underneath it. That is the reality of being a creator on any platform. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch. They can be incredible opportunities. They have created millionaires. They have given ordinary people the ability to reach an audience that would have been impossible just a generation ago. They are among the greatest tools ever created for human communication. But they are still businesses. And businesses make decisions based on their own goals. This is where many creators become emotional. They say, YouTube changed the algorithm. They lowered my views. They are favoring other creators. They destroyed my business. Sometimes those feelings are understandable. A change in recommendations. A new policy. A shift in monetization. A new type of content that the platform begins to prioritize. All of these things can dramatically impact a creator's income. But there is a difficult truth underneath that frustration. The platform was never built to guarantee your success. It was built to serve its own ecosystem. This does not make YouTube evil. It does not make social media companies villains. Think about it from their perspective. Their responsibility is to their viewers, their advertisers, their investors, their employees, their long-term survival. A platform that makes creators happy but causes viewers to leave will eventually fail. A platform that keeps viewers engaged will continue to grow. And if it grows, creators have the opportunity to grow with it. That relationship is a partnership, but it is not ownership. The greatest mistake a creator can make is confusing access with ownership. 1 million subscribers is access. 10 million followers is access. 100 million views is access. A viral video is access. But what happens if tomorrow the rules change? What happens if your content category becomes less popular? What happens if monetization changes? What happens if your account is hacked? What happens if your reach suddenly declines? You can have an enormous audience and still be completely dependent on a system you do not control. History is filled with examples of businesses that depended too heavily on a single platform. Companies that built their entire strategy around search engines. Publishers who relied entirely on social media traffic. Creators who relied entirely on one source of income. When that source changed, many of them struggled. Not because they were bad at what they did, because they had no control over the doorway their audience used to reach them. The most successful creators of the next generation understand a simple idea. Platforms are highways. They are not your home. YouTube is a discovery engine. TikTok is a discovery engine. Instagram is a discovery engine. Social media is where strangers discover who you are. But your long-term goal should be to create places where your relationship with your audience does not require another company's permission. The creators who build for the future are creating their own websites, their own communities, their own newsletters, their own products, their own memberships, their own brands. Places where the connection between creator and audience becomes stronger than any algorithm. Think about some of the largest companies in the world. They advertise on platforms they do not own. They use television. They use billboards. They use search engines. They use social media. But imagine if a company said, "Our entire business exists only on one billboard owned by someone else." Everyone would recognize how dangerous that is. Yet many creators unknowingly do exactly that. The future belongs to creators who think like businesses, not because they are abandoning creativity, but because they are protecting it. A creator who owns their audience has freedom, the freedom to experiment, the freedom to survive algorithm changes, the freedom to create without constantly fearing the next update. And here is the irony. The creators who stop obsessing over the algorithm often become the ones who perform best inside it. Because they stop chasing the machine. They start understanding the people behind the screen. They create relationships. They build trust. They create a reason for someone to follow them anywhere. The next era of the internet will not be won by the creators with the biggest subscriber count. It will be won by the creators who build ecosystems. Creators who use platforms as the beginning of a relationship, not the entire relationship. Creators who understand that the most valuable audience is not the one that watches you once. It is the one that chooses to come back again and again, no matter where you are. And this brings us to the final realization. The algorithm was never the enemy. The algorithm was only a mirror, a reflection of billions of human choices. And once you understand that, you stop fighting the machine. You learn to work with it. The creator revolution, the next decade of the internet. For nearly 20 years, the internet has gone through one of the greatest transformations in human history. It gave ordinary people something that previous generations could only dream about. A voice, a camera, a stage. The ability to reach millions of people without needing a television network, a newspaper, a movie studio, or a billion-dollar company standing behind them. For the first time in history, a single individual could compete with the largest media organizations on Earth. And that changed everything. The first generation of creators proved that a person with passion, creativity, and determination could build something extraordinary. A gamer could become a global entertainer. A teacher could educate millions. A comedian could build a worldwide audience. A storyteller could create a business from a bedroom. The old gatekeepers were removed. The walls came down. The world became the stage. But every revolution eventually matures. The internet we entered 20 years ago is not the same internet that exists today. The early days were a digital frontier. Fewer creators, less competition, more opportunities to simply be present. Today, the landscape is crowded. Millions of videos are uploaded. Artificial intelligence is accelerating creation at a pace humanity has never experienced before. The barrier to creation is disappearing. The age of limited content is over. The age of unlimited content has arrived. And that changes the question every creator must ask. The question is no longer, how do I make a video? AI can help anyone make a video. The question is no longer, how do I make a good thumbnail? AI can create thousands of thumbnails. The question is no longer, how do I edit faster? Machines will continue becoming better editors. The question that matters is, why should another human being care? That question has always been the heart of every great creation throughout human history. Before cameras existed, there were stories around campfires. Before streaming existed, there were musicians performing for crowds. Before social media existed, there were writers putting words onto paper. The tools changed. The technology evolved. But human beings remain the same. We still seek stories. We still seek connection. We still seek laughter. We still seek knowledge. We still seek inspiration. The creators who understand people will always have an advantage over the creators who only understand tools. And perhaps the biggest mistake creators can make in this new era is believing the goal is to defeat the algorithm. You cannot defeat a system that is simply following human behavior. You cannot trick a machine forever that learns from billions of interactions every day. You might find a shortcut. You might exploit a trend. You might discover a temporary advantage. But the machine will adapt. Because its purpose is not to reward tricks. Its purpose is to find what people genuinely want. The creators who will dominate the next decade will understand a completely different strategy. They will use YouTube. They will use TikTok. They will use Instagram. They will use every discovery tool available. But they will never mistake the highway for the destination. They will bring people into something larger. Their own website, their own community, their own products, their own events, their own memberships, their own ecosystem. Because the strongest creator in the future will not be the one with the largest follower count. It will be the one with the strongest relationship. One day, the history of the internet may look back at this moment as the beginning of a new age. The age where creators stopped asking companies for permission. The age where creators stopped building castles on borrowed land. The age where creators became their own media companies. The age of creator ownership. So the next time your video does not perform the way you hoped, before you blame the algorithm, pause and ask a different question. Not, why did the algorithm reject me? Ask, what did my audience not connect with? What promise did my title make that my video did not fulfill? What emotion did I fail to create? What value did I fail to deliver? Because every failed video is not a punishment. It is feedback. Every successful creator is simply someone who learned how to listen. The YouTube algorithm is not your enemy. It never was. It does not hate small creators. It does not love large creators. It does not care about your history. It does not care about your effort. It does not care about your excuses. It has one job: to understand what billions of human beings want to watch. And by almost every measurable standard, it has become incredibly good at doing exactly that. The real battle was never creator versus algorithm. The real battle has always been creator versus irrelevance. The creators who survive will not be the ones who complain about the future. They will be the ones who build it. The ones who understand people. The ones who adapt. The ones who create communities. The ones who build something they truly own. So stop asking, how do I beat the algorithm? Start asking, how do I become so valuable to a specific audience that the algorithm cannot ignore me? Because that is the game. And now, you finally know the rules. The internet is changing faster than any time in human history. New technology will rise. Old systems will fall. New creators will emerge. But one thing will always remain the same. The people who dare to create, who dare to build, and who dare to keep moving forward will shape the future. Thank you for spending your time with me today. If this video made you think, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe, join the journey, and remember, the future does not belong to those who wait for permission. It belongs to those who build it. Until next time,